Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to Automotive Anatomy. And today we have Mr. Xavier. Xavier, how are you?
How do you do? How do you do?
Man, I'm doing well. And thank you so much for making the time. And your girlfriend. I know you guys woke up very early to be here.
Hey, we watched Avengers last night.
Did you?
Dope.
Okay. So you guys came home late on top of
Yes.
Oh, wow. So even better. Thank you so much for making some time for me, man.
No problem.
So tell us, man,
My pleasure.
what do you drive?
All right, this is a 1987 Z31 300zx Turbo / 84 because it has 84 parts in it. So it's actually even more different and more weird. And it's a right-hand drive conversion. So it's not real JDM, but nonetheless, I did it myself. So.
And so how long you had it for?
This car, I don't own it since 04. Yeah, 2004. Prior to that, I had another Z31 Turbo that I got hit. So it got totaled back in 04 as well. This one was hit as well too, but I had to go ahead and fix all those dented parts and straighten out the frame a little bit because it was a little bit tweaked. But I got into this generation by pure mistake or luck.
Tell us
about it. Depends how you look at it. Well, back in '94, I was gonna be one of those Honda kids because Hondas and Integras, Hondas and Integras were very popular, Acuras and whatnot, and so hey, you go with what's popular.
Right.
And then my parents just happened to go to a dealership, found a Z31 300zx, just there, you know, for sale. They figured they'll get the car as my graduation present with my own money because I was saving up my own money for down payment.
Okay.
Nonetheless, they used it. They got this car right here, and I thought it was very different looking. Started driving it little by little, and just little by little got hooked on it. The fact that it wasn't very popular back then.
Tell us a little bit about this latest version.
Okay, well, I've always wanted to do a Japanese police car look on this generation because I've always been kind of fascinated by the color combo, the look of it. Even in Japan, seeing Japanese police cars in Japan were just like, wow, way different than here in the States. And this look right here, I've always been just fascinated by it. Like I said, you know, just give it my own look. It's gone through 3 different looks now already. Some of you might recognize it, remember it as a magenta, black, two-tone back in JCCS. We're talking like back in 05 and 06. After that, I did a hot rod look. So it's a hot rod flat black with white walls. So basically a Japanese hot rod that I used to call it. And that lasted like around a good 12 years or so. So finally, I got the courage to go ahead and do this color here. And now it's a lot more easier getting parts from Japan. And I was able to, you know, I know people in Japan, so they were able to help me get, you know, for example, the Japanese police lights and a couple other little things.
You said you brought it to the States. How?
I had it as a carry-on. Luckily for me, the guy that I bought it from, he packaged it. He put a Toyota manufacturer sticker saying that it was a bumper Toyota Levin. So TSA will ask me, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's just a bumper for a Toyota Corolla. They're like, okay, all right, you know, lucky me.
You're so glad nobody opened it.
Luckily they didn't open it because if they would have opened it, they would have seen like, okay, this is not allowed to be imported.
Hi, Xavier. So tell us about the front, man. What do you got going on?
All right, so like we said earlier, this is an 87 Z31 300zx Turbo. Differently than other generations because being an 87 model, it's more fatter in design, and I went ahead and dropped 84 parts into it, so that way it gives it a different look than other Zs. For example, you see the rear fender, it's more fatter, kind of like a fender, and then on the front, the fender flares give it more like a unique, like wider in the back, in the front.
No bumper. I mean fender. This is a flare.
It's original fender, but you know it gives it the flare look. Not too wide, not too crazy. And then you know 84 mixing with 87 bumper, with 84 headlights, 87 hood with an 84 hood scoop turbo, TBO lip, old school sparkle intercooler in the front.
Nice.
And the weirdest thing about this car right here will be the the owner. Yeah, I mean, the and or hello. The fender mirrors.
So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, one, man, I couldn't see on the way here. I was running shotgun. I could not see. I don't know how you do it.
Seeing is pretty worthless.
Right. Why made you go with that?
Because I love fender mirrors. for some reason on cars, fender mirrors, it just makes them pop out, and it gives it a much more crazier look in my point of view. Japanese look as well. And nobody has ever done this on this generation, and not even in Japan. So me being me, I just wanted to be different and do it, you know, make it look different than other Z31s. Wheels, SSRs, Speedstar, reverse mesh.
Beautiful.
Which I just came across by pure luck back in 2002. So back in the days, as not many people know, it wasn't easy to get wheels like it is nowadays.
Right.
So
right.
I just came across them by pure luck.
What are the specs on those?
God, I can't recall, to be honest.
Okay.
I can't recall.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I want to share his nice specs.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember, to be honest.
Tire setup, we have what?
Not too crazy or anything like that. It's just 215, 6015s.
Oh, okay.
Front and back.
Okay.
But
Tell us a little bit about your suspension setup.
Oh, suspension setup is a stance coilover kit, welded to the spindle. So now they're more common. Back then there wasn't. So it's something that you have to go ahead and cut and weld, because there was no fabricators that would do work on the cars, on these cars.
Right.
So you have to go ahead and just figure out yourself, think about it, and see how you're gonna go ahead and make them fit and whatnot.
Sweet, man.
Now going back to the car. The one thing that I'm very, very stoked about, other than the police lights, is a 3-piece spoiler of Avanti.
Wow.
As far as I know, it should be, and it might be the only one here in the US. Now, since you're able to get them a lot more easier, so we might be seeing them more often.
Okay.
But other than that, I met the main builder of the spoilers in Japan when I went 2 years ago. So I talked to him, and he went ahead and made me the spoiler, and then shipped it out over here.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and then, not to mention, he came to JCCS last year, and he saw it, and he was just happy to see it over here. All right, now let's go to the interior. Now, one thing that everybody will notice right away, well, actually not right away, it takes them a while to realize, it is a right-hand drive.
It took me a while.
So it takes people a while to realize that it's right-hand drive. And obviously, when everybody sees that, they're like, what the heck?
Right. Now, you said you did this yourself with no experience in nothing, welding, cutting, all that stuff.
Nothing, no experience of doing any kind of welding or grinding, yeah, but nothing, you know, when it came to like doing a right-hand drive conversion.
There's no forums, there's no threads, there's no really support.
Not for this car. For other cars there might be, and it kind of did help me out a little bit, but to say the least, it was a lot of just going with it and see how it comes out.
So at one point you were like, what am I doing?
At one point I did tell myself, like, what the heck did I get myself into? Am I even going to be able to do it, or is the car totaled?
Went to sleep crying. What did I just do?
Might as well, pretty much.
So tell them, what do you have going on?
All right, well, the interior, I mean, it's just, you know, the basics, you know, HKS, blow-off valve, Nardi steering wheel with the awesome Nismo horn button, which I love it. The Bride bucket seat on the driver's side with the Takatas. That's pretty much common nowadays. So now it's time for a change.
Oh, okay.
The passenger side, another Bride reclinable, so that way it's more comfort for the passenger, which not that often that I have passengers. It's just me, myself, and I, but got it. Another awesome part that I got recently was the Moon Equip floor mats. They looked awesome.
So what did you, why are they so special for you?
Because I just like the color, the look.
And it matches, yeah, it matches. Cool.
It matched back when I had the hot rod look, but not to say the least, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, definitely. Where did you pick up the whole clip?
The clip, I got it from a shop that was in the, I'm not even sure if they're still around, back in El Monte. Something JP, can't recall. I just came across it, he's driving around, and I saw something different. And I just looked, it was like it was calling my name. It was kind of like that style, that it was just calling my name. Like, X, come over here.
Come here.
Something like that. They're like, Papi Chulo, you need me. I just looked and like, oh,
Yeah,
like, no way, is that a right-hand drive conversion? Sure enough, it was. And I just knocked on the door at the shop, and yes, next day I went to pick it up.
Wow.
And it was just a crazy 4 months of experience of doing the whole work.
Wow. That's crazy. So now you know how to weld. Now you know how to do.
No,
stuff.
I'm better now. No, I'm practicing now. I'm
For the
practicing.
next right-hand drive.
Most likely, yeah. 280zx.
Ooh,
My son's. So we'll see about that.
nice, man. All right, X. So what do you have in the engine compartment, man?
All right, it's just your basic 3.0 V6, but it's a Gloria bottom end, Nissan Gloria. Turbo, obviously. Size of turbo, I couldn't tell you. It's not the original or stock. It's a little bit more bigger than that, but I forgot the size of it.
Okay.
And like we mentioned earlier, the Spiarco intercooler with the HKS blow-off valve to give it a nice little sound, like a little rattlesnake. HKS filter, NJK spark plugs. I mean, that's just very common. But you know, as you can tell, I eliminated all the mumbo jumbo smog crap that it has. Eliminated other stuff that is unnecessary because it's just too boring. And that way it makes the car or the engine itself look more simple yet clean, easier to clean as well.
Wow.
And a couple little things here and there that I just cannot recall, to be honest.
Nice.
But just, you know, just gave it my own little look.
I like the camel green that you went with for the catch cans that over there.
Grady
Grady
catch can.
Strut bar, is it specifically for the Z?
Yes, this strut bar is a Cusco, so they only made it, you know, for a certain amount of times, and I don't think they make it anymore.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they asked me for a favor to let them borrow the strut bar again, so they could go ahead and redo it again. And so
You said no.
I said yes, and they went ahead and gave me a free set as well.
Nice. Look at that. So let's talk about the engine itself. What kind of power do you think you're pushing? Kind of PSI and the turbo?
Well, right now I'm still working on that whole powering issue. I got some bigger injectors, 440cc, 255 Walbro fuel pump. I got a turbo relocator, which I'll be putting a bigger turbo as well. And this Tune ECU program that I still haven't installed yet. Well, basically all that I haven't installed yet. But so like I said, there's a lot of things that I still have for this car that I haven't dropped into it yet, because it's I don't know if I want to go ahead and keep with a V6 or
Tell us about that. So what do we have in the making?
my dream was always to do a right-hand drive Z31 with a police car look. Now I achieved that. And finally, I got my Watanabe wheels, which I haven't installed yet because I need to buy tires. But now, since I have all of that, my final touch is going to be either RB25 or RB26. And that has always been, you know, one of my plans for this car. So it's just a matter of time, you know, hopefully within the next year or so, I'll be having the RB25 or RB26.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes.
All right, so tell us, man, what are the future plans for this beautiful Z, and any shout outs?
All right, well, the future plans, other than the RB, I picked up some Watanabes yesterday. So next time you guys see it at a event or show, different wheels, a little bit of a different setup, old school look that I love. You can't go wrong with the Watanabes.
Right.
And like I said, RB25, and other than that, I believe I might be done. Questionable.
We'll see.
But I'll tell you this much, there's another Z31 on the project, myself and my son, that we'll be working on. That one will be...
You mean that one that just pulled up?
Holy crap. Talk of the kid. There you go.
There you go. So that's gonna be the next project. That's fun.
Well, that's another project.
Oh my God.
That is
drive.
That is my pride and joy, as you can tell.
You taught him how to drive? What is that?
No.
All right. So,
I taught him to like cars. It was a little bit of a mistake, I'll tell you that much. But he loves cars, keeps him away from bad stuff. So.
All right. So then, any shout outs, man?
Shout outs to me, myself, and I, obviously, because I've done all of this.
Yes.
No, but in reality, to be honest, shout outs to my son for always pushing me. Even when I didn't want to do nothing about cars no more, he kept pushing, papi, car. So I had to keep going. Other than that, shout outs to my maintenance guy that he actually gave me a couple tips here and there for the right-hand drive conversion. All my friends in Japan, especially Kei Miyata, good friend in Japan, Tokyo, Kanagawa. He helped me out getting the police lights. A good friend. And damn, I'm kind of clueless now.
Don't worry, I can edit this part.
And to all the people that, you know, gives me props, likes in my car, I respect that, and I appreciate all that, all the good words from those that like it, and those that don't, oh well, can't satisfy everybody.
Right.
And it's not about that,
It's not
but
about them.
it's about, yeah, enjoying the car, enjoying the drives, like the beautiful background over there, enjoying all that.
Cool, man. X, dude, you're fine.
Muchas
Great
gracias.
No, gracias a ti, man. I really appreciate it, and you know, I'm so glad to see this, and I can't wait for the future plans. And I know we might see each other soon because you do have like 5 other cars that you're working on, so we'll see.
Keep an eye open for a 61 Volkswagen wagon Ford with now 28. Keep an eye open for the Z31 that we're going to be building, road racing, and then keep an eye out for that one over there. That is going to be, yeah.
Man, you're fun to hang out with. That's awesome, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
And I do apologize for my weirdness.
Man, don't. That's what makes us weird.